And we are coming back on shore after a 4-day, 4-night fishing trip at ReelCrazy. Today we have a very special segment laid out for you. We're going to share about our fishing experience at ReelCrazy. And number one, we have our returning angler, Edmund. And we have our two first-timers, and we have Shirley and we have Terry. They're going to share with you all their experience, what jig they use, how's their overall fishing experience, so that you can make an informed decision before coming for this trip. Let's start with our returning angler, Edmund. Edmund, how is your catch rate for this trip?
Alright, my catch rate for this trip is decent, in the sense that we always get the usual suspects such as the coral trouts, but we also have a couple of notable species, Mango Emperor, Giant Trevallies, and also for night fishing we also have the dogtooth tuna and the yellowfin tuna.
Wow, seems that we have quite a few species to check out. Alright, we have our first timer. Let's start with Shirley. How is your catch rate?
Quite consistent lah. It's not like low and then got nothing. But you have to be hardworking lah. So tuna I got even in the day. Both yellowfin and dogtooth. Smaller one lah.
Hi guys, so I had my fair share for this trip, especially I think it was a very good time for me during the daytime catching all the coral trout and other reef species.
And so what is the biggest catch that you have had?
The biggest catch in the day was I think it was a 12 or 40-pound GT caught a jig when I was trying to catch coral trouts around the reefs.
What is the jig that actually the most looked up during the day? Okay, on count of 3, you're going to take a jig and then after you show it to the camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Start with the returning angler. This is not your first time here at Miri, so based on your past experience at ReelCrazy, so what jig is this?
So this is a 150 gram tungsten jig from Jackal. My main goal was to actually get my jig down to the depth as fast as possible so I can cover as much ground with little fluttering of my jig. My belief is that since I'm already here I want to make my trip count. I want to have more fishing time. So with tungsten, I believe it's a more efficient way of fishing.
Hey Shirley, what is your MVP jig?
My MVP jig is actually this. The color matters for me a lot lah, because we're day jigging, right? So this, I don't really know what this is, but it's cut water bass.
Since that the profile itself is more like flat and
Yes.
a bit more fluttering.
Yeah, it's a bit different from, I have some fat one a bit different from this stuff, like bullet looking one. But because I don't really want to play the bottom, I jig throughout the entire 100-meter column. I want the flutter and the blink.
I see.
Yeah, so it's a bit different.
So based on your strategy, right, we are actually fishing from different depth. We have 30, we have 60, we have 70, sometimes we go 100. 130. So so you managed to cover the whole column. When you cover the whole column, other than the bottom and top, the center, what else do you manage to keep during the whole column?
So day jigging, usually when we drop the jig to the bottom, we will try to hit something at the bottom lah, coral mah, can see from the sounder. But after that, when our jig is drifting further away from us, when the line is less vertical, we start playing the other columns, right? I hit dogtooth.
Oh, dogtooth.
I hit yellowfin also.
Oh yes, I remember.
Okay, yeah, so it was like everybody keeps saying, hey, this is a lost child. No, because nobody else is jigging at the higher column.
Actually, you are right, because most of the time I think everybody's so focused on getting the
Everybody want angkau, yeah.
Everybody want angkau, right? Then after that, nobody cover the mid column and the upper water column. So actually, during the mid column, there must be some strategy. So it's very hardworking when you do the whole column. We move on to our youngest angler again. Alright, Terry.
Hi, so I was using a 120 gram tungsten jig from AliExpress. I choose to purchase this tungsten jig from AliExpress because most tungsten jigs from the retail store in Singapore is very expensive, or rather not so affordable for a student like me who's trying to go economic. So I managed to source this tungsten jig from AliExpress, and it worked pretty well for me.
So for you, the most economic is the that can afford for the
Correct. It's relatively affordable for tungsten jig.
If it works, it works.
Correct.
This trip I tried something different. This trip I tried a full chrome, and this jig is by Shimano. is the stick side. And you can see it's like it's almost like a sinker lah, but it's a chrome sinker, right? When you drop, it drop down fast, and then it flutters well. It's surprising it flutters well. At first, when I see this shape, right, I was thinking like, actually, this shape, should get because compared to like our more standard profile, like usually like really look like a fish, right? Then this one looks a bit like unnatural, but surprisingly get most of my fish. Yeah, you see all the scars. Yeah, bit angkawan. This one when I drop it, right, before it touch the bottom, I let it flutter. Means that when you go down that time, you try to keep a line straight all the way down. And before it bottom, right, just like go. I'm a skinny user, so I let it flutter all the way down already, right. So after when I push my bill, doing the first pitch up, usually the angkawan will take itself. So actually I believe I'm not sure you all get the same thing. Every time after you drop, right, the first or second pitch, right, the angkawan will take.
Yeah.
Right? You actually get this thing, right? So I think most importantly for all MVP jigs, for one common thing is number one, the jig must touch bottom. If you don't touch bottom, you cannot get angkawan, you cannot get any fish. You are basically just drifting in the target. And number two, of course, the profile matter lah.
Need to flutter.
Need to flutter.
I got this one, right? It doesn't really flutter. When sinking lah. So this one never no bite mark mah. So I change to this. As I see, you kena. I must change.
On the count of three, take out your MVP jig for night. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Alright, okay. So again, we go around the table. Start with the returning angler. Why this is his night. Alright, Edmund, all yours.
Alright, so I was mostly focused on the nighttime, which is about 9 plus to 11 PM, where there was minimal current and we are at 120 meters depth. So what I'm looking for is a light jig with strong flutter action and luminous. So I am using this because of the profile of the jig, and it's luminous, so it allows me to cover the column easily with my long strokes for jigging method. From the bottom all the way until cover about 50 meters depth, then we go down again.
And then if I'm not wrong, this one's very familiar. This one is white rabbit, right?
Yes, this is the white rabbit jig. This is the old school classic.
This one is like everybody come to Miri, right? It seems like
Everybody have
It's a must buy.
and someone is a full Lumo. So actually Lumo works well at night for you?
Yes, it works well for me.
I see. Like a lot of people say night fishing I use Lumo jig, but maybe we have different perspective. Later we'll talk about it. Okay, we move on to Shirley. Alright, what is your nighttime MV?
So this is a Saltiga TB jig 2. So this is actually only 140 grams, but this cuts water very very fast. In fact, the day jig I use is also around 130, but the sinking rate is a lot faster on this one. Cuts fast because I jig the whole column, right? The jig that cut fast is less tiring when you're pitching. Because we margin right?
Yes,
so so very important. Easy effort jigging jig important. My also no Lumo, but I also cannot fish. So I do all the way up. I know my yellow pin was caught on 30 meters before the boat.
30 meters.
Yeah, means I left one color only.
Oh, I see. Actually,
no Lumo.
Lumo also can. So you try whatever works for you. It looks alright. Youngest angler, let's go.
So for the guys was targeting pelagics with long and slim jigs. However, I was trying to target demersal fishes, or also known as your bottom fishes. So I was using a 250 gram lead jig by Tokayo. It's a slow deep 3. I was trying to target some big ruby snapper. However, I did not have any luck with the big snappers. I caught some small ones with this jig. Just knocking the bottom, just a few pitches up.
So actually, when it comes to night jigging, right, it seems like there's two different ways to get fish. One is you jig the middle column for the pelagic, yellow fin, and the dog food. So some weird pelagic. Sometimes we even got barracuda. And then after that, another is jig the bottom. Actually touch the bottom, we are going for the red ruby, right? Correct. Yeah. So and when night fishing itself, it seems that like there's two different approach, and how you jig how you try to jig, it will determine what kind of fish you can sell. And of course, most importantly is just keep jigging lah. At night you sleep, how do you get fish? Okay, my turn. Jig bara. I'm using a 150. Okay, same thing. It's like a semi-long. Semi-long, right? So same thing. No more. But however, you see my assist hook. I oversized my assist hook. It's very bigger than the profile. So I believe that when it comes to jigging for monster at night, you want to have big hooks because I mean all hooks will definitely penetrate but having a bigger hook, right, able to hold the fish very well. You've got confidence, you know that at least the hook will hold. Is much more, and you set the time you can just set. So you don't need to scare the hook. I think most importantly, like what we said earlier, if it works, it works.
A highlight of this trip was actually me hitting estimated 2 meter long shark on a bottom setup. So it was my first time hitting something so big on board, and it was difficult, but with all the support from the various khakis from passing me the gimbal belt, holding me to make sure that I do not fly into the water, and also keeping my rod tension up also, and also pushing me up and keeping me balanced at all times.
For me, the fishing is very different. So East Malaysia, we do like day and night jigging. So I have to be very adaptable. Have to see what people are using, and then you bring sorted profile jigs, and then you figure out that hey, this is a very tiring jig, but I have to jig for the next 3 days. So you look for something slimmer, something easier to jig, and then you find what works for you. Very different from going to like your Rompin and Dizaru, where everybody is practically using the same kind of jig. Yeah, so something new for me. That's why when I get my fish, I find it even more rewarding.
For me, same as Shirley, it's my first time fishing back to like 4 days. So it's very important for me to have a very open-minded approach to this kind of fishing. So having very good advices from the anglers with experience, prior experience on board, and also looking at just observe what the deckies and the captains are doing, what kind of jig or how do they actually work their lures. It's very, very important.
Can even ask the guy that owns the YouTube channel.
Hey.
Yeah, because he gives us a lot of advice prior to the trip.
Correct.
A lot of shopping is done with his influence.
Right, we took that advice prior to the trip.
Thank you. That's why I'm called the Samtam Macam expert. You know why is it called Samtam Macam expert?
Hey, why?
Okay, so basically, SME is called subject matter expert. But I'm not a subject matter expert. How can I claim I'm an expert, right? So I call myself Samtam Macam expert.
Still expert.
Yeah, but a lot of advice worked. Yeah, that's why I follow a lot of your stuff.
But a lot of things I think is learned through really experience like what you have gone through. It's just that maybe I pay more tuition fee out in the sea. This is not my first time out there at Luconia. I've been to Bintulu, Marine Max, the olden days before COVID. I roughly know what to expect, and and interaction with other anglers that they went before. We share our experience, then we figure out what works and what not. This trip is very, very beautiful. I feel that other than the fish and the harvest that we got, right, I think the most important is shared moment that we had 4 days, 4 nights on board. And this is something that really sometimes for money. It's unique. I'm very fortunate that actually this trip, right, I managed to have the 3 of you make new friends. This is the first time fish with Shirley and Terry, So I'm glad that we are matched well.
Gumkey.
And of course, I'm very glad that we have my returning angler Edmund on board. He was like all the time. All the batu that he caught.
Alright.
So with that, we come to the end of this episode of Samtam Macam Expert. Yeah.
Betul.